Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Unitarian Church of Edmonton. My name is Gordon Ritchie. My pronouns are he, him, and I have the great pleasure of being your service leader this morning. And I will be joined with our slightly tired minister, Reverend Rosemary Morrison. She and a crew of amazing individuals put on what I thought was a wonderful event last night, our Big Splash Canvas event. And Reverend Rosemary will be talking a little bit more about that later. As Unitarian Universalists, we are bound together not by a common set of beliefs, but by our promise to support one another in our individual searches for truth and meaning, guided by our principles and drawing from many sources. Whatever you believe, whoever you love, however you identify, however you understand family, whatever your age, race, or ability, you are welcome here. We invite you to join us on a journey of free thought, spiritual questing, and justice making. I would like to extend a special welcome to anyone who is visiting here this morning and invite you to stay for coffee and conversation following our service. I'd also like to acknowledge those who are with us online. It is good to be together. Before we have announcements, I have one little shout out that I'm going to do. Robert and I were at our movie night here Friday evening here in the sanctuary, and I want to give a big shout out to Declan and to Pauline for hosting what is, I think, a really, really wonderful event. We watched a really, really interesting, a very moving, but also what I loved too was that we gathered together in small groups and discussed our experience through the movie as well. So it's a really great way of meeting people and sharing your thoughts as well. So I would encourage those to come out for our next movie night. And I know Maria has an announcement. Oh, and I'm thinking Karen Belita as well. And I know we have one from Reverend Rosemary.
Good morning. My name is Maria Odekirk, and along with my husband Clinton, I am part of our hospitality crew here at the church. I hate the word committee. I try and avoid it wherever possible. Team, that works. Go team! I know a lot of you were here last night for our big splash. It's been at least 12 hours since we've seen each other, but it is now time to start thinking about our second Sunday potluck, which will be on the 12th of April, and I do have sign-up sheets for setup and cleanup on the membership table. We would always love to see some new faces willing to help out with those things. And other than that, I don't believe in sign-up sheets for the actual food for a potluck, because where's the luck in that? So just on the 12th, after the service, we will have a potluck lunch. So bring a dish to share if you are willing and able, and come share some food and fellowship.
Good morning. My name's Karen Belita. My pronouns are she and her. Today is not Transgender Day of Visibility, but it's the closest Sunday too. So you may have seen some signs on your chairs. After the service, we're going to do a group photo. You can hold those signs, or on the back table, there's some coloring sheets and some blank sheets that you can make your own signs for if you want. Also, there's some information sheets around that are also posted by the credenza on pronouns, because sometimes they seem confusing, but honestly, they're not.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, now I'm awake. Gordon, first of all, my name is the Reverend Rosemary Morrison. It is my pleasure and honor to serve this congregation. And my pronouns are she and her. It's a delight to see all of you here this morning, and those of you online, I can't see you, but I'm really glad you're here, and those of you that may be watching on YouTube later on, today or next year. What I am doing up here is just thanking people. I'd like to just do another thank you to everyone that was here last night, to all of those that participated, that contributed, that offered items, that bought items. A special, I think we just need to do a little special shout out this morning to Team Turvey. So for those of you online and maybe didn't hear that, Lynn said, my man John Turvey, half of Team Turvey, is home and resting and will recover soon. No, he's pretty tired, and I especially want to deep felt thanks to those that stayed in the kitchen last night until I got home, maybe 11. So it was a big job to clean the kitchen because I made a huge mess. So my heartfelt thanks to those. I think that's all I got. Good. We did, I wanted to let you know that the auction was very successful. There was a good amount of money raised. I would just say a mid four-figure balance. So that's pretty awesome. Give yourselves a round of applause.
Thank you, everybody. The topic of our service this morning is honoring Transgender Day of Visibility. March 31st is a global celebration of transgender, non-binary, and two-spirit people. So let us take this morning to honor their contributions, raise awareness of discrimination they face, and be reminded of what we can do to create inclusion and belonging in our community. With that in mind, I would like to take a moment to talk briefly about two-spirit. From what I've read, different Indigenous cultures have their own variations of the term two-spirit. Two-spirit commonly refers to gender identity, dress, and traditional roles within Indigenous culture. In some cases, the term referred specifically to sexuality. However, in the past, two-spirit people did not necessarily see themselves as homosexual. In many Indigenous communities, two-spirited individuals were believed to have received supernatural intervention in the form of dreams and visions. As such, they often filled special spiritual roles in their community as healers, shamans, and ceremonial leaders. Historically, two-spirit people were also a great source of knowledge. Two-spirit was a complex role and identity that modern-day two-spirited individuals use to reclaim traditions related to gender identity, sexual preference, spiritual identity, and traditional roles. I have the great honor of having two-spirit individuals in my personal community. This has given me the opportunity to learn more about them and this particular history. And so as we live on Treaty 6 territory, may we continue to honor, respect the history, languages, and cultures of First Nations, Métis, Inuit, and all First Peoples of Canada, whose presence continue to enrich our vibrant community. Now let us prepare our hearts and minds for worship. Let us let go, just for a moment, of the everyday world. Let us quiet ourselves, our phones, and any electronic devices that you may have with you this morning. And let us create a space in this hour to simply be together. In the spirit of life and love, we gather. And Karen has prepared a prelude for us. Thank you, Karen. Now, I trust you are all paying attention to that prelude, because that's actually going to be a hymn that we will be singing later on in the service. Karen's kind of sneaky in that way. So thank you for that, Karen. I would like to invite Karen Belita forward to light our chalice this morning. These words which Reverend Rosemary has found are by Jami Yandle, who writes, "We light this chalice for the quiet truths we carry, and for the futures we are brave enough to write. In this circle, we honor the courage it takes to live openly, the softness that sustains us, and the joy and power that grows when we gather. As the chalice glows, may we feel steadfastness rise in us. May we trust that our becoming, messy, radiant, unfolding, holy, belongs to us." Thank you, Karen. Our opening hymn is number 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. The text will be appearing on the screen behind me. For those of you online, it will be appearing on your screens as well. We invite you to join along and sing with us as well. So here in the sanctuary, I invite you to rise as you are willing and able as we join in singing together hymn number 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. This has been Canvas Month, and what a month this has been, and what a party last night. And I would invite who I'm calling Mr. Canvas 2026. That is the one, the only, Andrew Mills. Give it up for Andrew Mills.
Because I need to make a big splash. Yes, I have my Hawaiian shirt on. I have the blue and the white, but not the pink of Transgender Day. So, hi, my name is Andrew Mills. My pronouns are he and him, and this is my 20th year doing Canvas. More on that later. So first of all, I want to start off by saying thank you so much for last night. It was tremendous fun, absolutely great. It's also a great example of participation from a bunch of people in fundraising for this church, which is oh so important. Now today is the last day of Canvas, and all members should have returned a pledge by today. So if you're a member of this church, we are looking for you to say how much that you can contribute for the coming year. Friends who also give to this church should also return a pledge form, so we get an idea of how much they're going to return as well. Now the forms are at the back of the church, and you can fill one out and put it in the collection plate today as the collection plate comes around. So if you're on automatic monthly donations, we've already counted you. So you should actually return a pledge each year to keep in contact with us and say, yes, I want to continue my ongoing donations. But if you don't return a pledge, we just roll it over and we count it as a pledge anyway. So if you're on automatic monthly donations, you've already been counted. Thank you very much for that. We do appreciate those ongoing monthly donations. They do help us meet payroll. So our target is to raise $150,000 in identified donations. That's from you and me. This goes to our staff and our programs. We're in a fabulous position where our church building pretty much pays for itself. And so really we're only paying for our staff and we're only paying for the programs that we want to do. Now to get to that target, to get to our target, we need to raise about $1,000 per member per year. Now, many people contribute more than that. Some people don't contribute as much as that, but everybody contributes as they can afford. We appreciate that. But overall, the average needs to come in at about $1,000 per member. That's just what we need to run this church. So we appreciate anybody who can give anything. Any amount is good. A pledge amount that says, this is what I think I can contribute for the next year would be fantastic. And if you absolutely can't afford anything, a $0 pledge is appropriate as well, okay? We just need to hear from everybody. So we're about $3,500 away from our goal. Just $3,500 away from the $150,000 that we need. So we're just about there. Now to get there, we need two types of pledges. We need pledges from people who give annually a lump sum amount, okay? So they say, oh, I'll give you $1,000 a year and here's my $1,000. So there's people who give a lump sum amount. Or if you're on monthly donations, it's an increase because I've already counted your monthly donation. So if we need to get that extra $3,500, you need to give us a little increase. For example, Karen and I have increased our pledge this year by $33 a month. So it's the increases that add up, okay? After today, I will tally all the pledges, and next week we'll call those people who we haven't heard from because we truly, truly need to hear from everybody. And we will have some volunteers will call out and ask people to give us an estimate of what they think they can do next year. And then I have to put together an estimate of what our annual income will be for next year. And that's the whole purpose of the pledges. That's the whole purpose of Canvas, is for me to create an estimate that you will hear in our annual general meeting when I present the budget on May the 3rd. So at that May the 3rd, I will say, I have heard from everybody in this church. I know what everybody says they're going to contribute next year. So this is how much money we can expect to run our programs for the following year. And without that, we really can't do our budget. So that's the purpose of Canvas. That's why we need to hear from everybody. That's why we have to have your feedback. So I want to thank everyone who's returned a pledge. Thank everyone who is on the monthly donations, who we've already counted. Thank you very much. And I thank you all for your support of running this Unitarian Church of Edmonton. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Andrew. And now it's time for us to share our abundance. One of the purposes of this church community is to encourage all who gather here to grow more generous in spirit and action. In addition to supporting this community, we make a monthly commitment to the wider community. 1/2 of the unidentified cash that's received is given to an outside organization. For the month of March, we are supporting Wings of Providence. And as the offering is being collected, I'd like to tell you a little bit about this organization. The following is taken from the Wings website. Our mission: we save lives and create futures for women and children fleeing domestic violence. Our vision: we find, fund, create and deliver the most effective programs to help women and children achieve a life defined by safety and independence. We want to have a life free from family violence for every woman and children. Safety. Nothing else matters if we are not safe. For those of you online, you're welcome to visit the Wings for Providence website to make a donation. Absolutely.
I actually meant to do this earlier in the month, and I know that you're giving generously, but just to keep this in your mind, maybe for next time. But I just wanted to let you know that when my son was 13 months old and my daughter was 6, I spent about 2 months in a women's shelter when I escaped a domestic violence situation. And it was a very low point in my life. And I didn't understand personal growth. And so I would be up all night worrying and wondering what I was going to do. And the workers in the shelter, they helped me understand what I needed to do to move through this very painful time in my life. And I was married to this man for 15 years. He's the father of my children. It was a very rough time in my life. And women leave and go back over and over again. And that is not a bad thing. It's not something that is bad about them. It's really hard to leave, let me tell you that. It's really hard to leave. I tried many times. I finally found out that I could go to a women's shelter, and I left. So I just want you to know this because it gives life, right? If I hadn't gone to that women's shelter, I don't think I would have started my own journey of recovery, and they helped me with that. So thank you for giving to this organization, and when it comes back up again next year, I hope you remember this story and give from your hearts.
Thank you, Reverend Rosemary, for sharing that with us. And thank you all for your dedication to this wonderful organization. We thank you for your generosity of spirit and action. Through the work that we do here in this community and the wider world, we are involved in the important spiritual work of creation and compassion. As the offering is being received, let us join in singing From You I Receive. Let's sing the hymn.
And then I'll do what I was going
to do after. I thought you were coming up and leading the congregation. Here we are. So we have a hymn, which we're really excited about. This is, this is hymn number 170. We are a gentle, angry people. I invite you to rise in body and spirit as we join in singing number 170. We are a gentle, angry people.
one of the reasons we come to church, and I often say, and it's probably a bad thing for a minister to say, is nobody needs church. Everybody needs community. And church is a great place to get that. Instant community, lots of things going on, friends, acquaintances, people you like, people you're not so crazy about. But then we get to learn how to be in community with people we're not so crazy about and figure it out. And we can knock the sharp edges off of one another. So let's do that for a minute, shall we? Let's greet each other. Let's look each other in the eye and say hello. And then, while we're at it, and maybe first, let's stand and say good morning to the people online. The cameras are at the back. They're online visiting with you. But they can't see you unless you look at the back. So let's give them a wave. Thank you for being here with us. You've made them smile, methinks. You've made them smile. Thank you for being here. And now I invite you to greet your neighbors here within the sanctuary. Worry about doing that because then it's really hard to get you guys to settle down. I love it. It's so wonderful. This is how we build community, isn't it? Have a chance to speak to one another.
We have a responsive reading for you this morning. And I will lead you off, and I will be saying what we'll call the light font, and then we have the bold font. That's your part, and Reverend Rosemary will lead you in that. This responsive reading is entitled, so you're with me.
Yes.
Change of plan. That's what you said.
Yeah.
Earlier.
That's what
Okay.
I said.
So I haven't had coffee yet. Forgive me.
I have.
Yeah. So, you are my people. Thank you. I
You
love
are my people.
Okay. All right. Cool. So, my people, let us begin. We are grateful for the gifts of our lives and the gift of other people in our lives.
Each of us is created with dignity and worth.
We are called to love one another and to do nothing to others that we would find hateful to ourselves.
We honor the ways that people live.
Our common life is enriched when queer, transgender, bisexual, lesbian, and gay people can come out, sharing the gifts of their sexual orientation and gender identity.
True justice flourishes when all people can live and flourish.
We suffer when LGBTQ people are oppressed, excluded, or shamed by religious people who overlook the fundamental call to love one another.
Love does not exclude. We are all worthy.
May we work to build a world where all people are celebrated and loved.
We celebrate sexual and gender diversity that enriches us all. Okay, you got it. This, for those of you who may or may not know, there is now an online hymnary, and it is new composers can submit their songs, and this is a new song that was fairly recently written by Sherry Woodbury, and it is in the online hymnary. And the hymnary is really cool because you get a little snippet of the song, and then you get it in the piano music in every key. So it comes in every single key, and it gives us the lyrics and the breakdown. It's a really cool thing, and we have a subscription to that, and so we'll be starting to use it a little bit. And this is the first hymn that from the new online hymnary that we are going to use, and I invite Karen to play it through. We're just going to sing it until it doesn't feel like we should sing it anymore. I return. Isn't that the way it feels sometimes? We return back to who we actually are and where we actually belong. I invite you to plant your feet on the floor and take a couple of long, deep breaths with me. Return to yourself, where you belong. Can you feel your body being held in physical space? Can you feel yourself being held in this loving space, this place where we belong, where we explore different ideas, and they're good and okay. We explore who we are and are accepted. We belong. I invite you to follow your breath as it comes into your body and gives you that life-giving oxygen that your body needs. And then we let it go. All that no longer serves us. Each breath a metaphor for life. We take what we need that sustains us, and then we let go of that which we no longer need. Each and every breath. Offer these meditation words by Sean Parker Dennison. He is a colleague of mine, and he is a trans man, and he is ordained and settled in, I think, Arizona. Breaking and Blessing is his little book of meditations, and this one is called Today. Today has been a day like all days, it seems, in which I let people down and did not love as fully as I always hope. And today I have been sad because there always are unexpected and unpredictable consequences of what I do and do not know. And yet, the taste of this perfectly ripe pear on my tongue reminds me of heaven and of gifts beyond measure, like sweetness and sunset, and again, tomorrow. In a few moments of silence, today has been a day, like all days it seems, in which I let people down and did not love as fully as I always hope. And today I've been sad because there are the unexpected and unpredictable consequences of what I do and do not know. And yet, the taste of this perfectly ripe pear on my tongue reminds me of heaven and of gifts beyond measure, like sweetness and sunset, and again, tomorrow. please remain seated as we sing together, How Could Anyone? Hymn 1053. In a moment, we're going to watch a video that my friend Lisa Salazar did. I probably have shown it before, and often on Trans Day of Remembrance or Visibility, I talk about Lisa. She taught me so much about what it means to be a transgender person. We were at Vancouver School of Theology together, and she was doing a Master's of Public and Pastoral Leadership, and her call has been to advocate for trans folk, for rights, and she's put herself out there. She is a little bit older than me, and transitioned in her late 50s. And she's going to tell you a little bit about her story as soon as it begins to happen. And so, is it happening? Yes? I'm ready. Are you ready? Film that she did was, it's several years old. And when I was previewing it to show this morning, I went, yeah, well, I don't think we imagined when she did that film, did that video, that there was going to be this big cause for concern. Yeah, big cause for concern. Yeah. And we've got a couple of speakers, and then afterwards we'll go on back, and after we hear from our speakers, we'll do our candles, which I missed, which is why Andrew was surprised that we were going to do this. So my apologies to the tech deck. So I wanted to speak just a tiny little bit about my experience being going to school with Lisa, and her educating me, which wasn't her job, and but I just kept asking her questions, and she was so gracious and answered my questions, and we became friends. And I wanted to let you know also, she's written 2 books about her experience going through this, what her life was like, and her thoughts and concerns, and all of the things that happened to her. And as well, she speaks very openly in her books about her transition and gender reassignment or gender confirming surgery. And so it's a really great book if you're interested in understanding more about what trans people may be thinking or what she was. I mean, everybody's different, right? But her experience is enlightening to read about, and it's called Transparently Inside the Life of a Good, Scenes from Inside a Good Life. And so it's called Transparently. Lisa Salazar, I invite you to have a look at it. The other thing I wanted to mention is, like, we were in university together, we graduated at the same time, and she had to do a project. We did different degrees. And her project was to, she did a huge data collection. She asked people questions, so she did a qualitative study. Is that the right one, where you ask lots of people? Qualitative. Quantitative would be amounts. Okay, so she did a huge qualitative study on levels of spirituality and understanding about oneself. And what she discovered in her work is she questioned everybody with the same questions, and all people from all different walks of life, gender expressions, sexual orientations, etc. And what she found is that people who had become maybe trans or understood that they were gay or maybe non-binary, but people that had done the work of figuring out all of that, and because they were, so somebody like me that's cisgender, I've always wanted to wear girl clothes. I've always felt really good in things that girls do, but I know that I am not everybody is like me. And so she discovered that people that work to find out exactly what makes them tick, who they really are. And I've done that work and discovered, who I am in a lot of my own nuances. But she discovered that trans people, non-binary people, and gay and people that have come out of the closet basically have a much deeper understanding of who they are, a much deeper level of spirituality. I don't know exactly the questions she asked to get to that, but I think it's really worth thinking about how much work, how much personal work it's going to take to finally come out and say, be brave enough to say, this is who I am. It takes an awful lot of work. And so that's enough from me. I would like to invite Declan Kiley to come up. Declan is a member of our church and our board and helps with the movie night and camera. And so welcome, Declan.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Declan Kiley, and my pronouns are he and she. It's been a while since I've been up here, so please forgive my stage fright jitters. I noticed in that responsive reading, I really enjoyed that line, true justice flourishes when we can all live and flourish, something along those lines. Visibility can be a double-edged sword. The trans community often calls for more visibility, but sometimes that can be very tricky. The more that we are visible, the more that we are vulnerable. We've had a rough year across the globe, but in Alberta in particular, there's been quite a bit of scapegoating of the trans community by the Alberta government. To put it into concrete terms, in November of 2025, there was the introduction of Bill 9, which was called Protecting Our Children Statutes and Amendment Act, and that was passed in December of 2025, which invoked the notwithstanding clause on bills 26, 27, and 29. Those bills included some things such as restricting access of youth under 16 to gender-affirming health care. It banned transgender women from participation in women's sports, and it requires parents' consent for youth under 16 to use preferred pronouns that align their gender identity in school. These are horrific legislations that make it so much harder to live and limit our lives and our freedoms. I won't go on and on about that. I believe I've made my point clear on those political issues in the past. The more that I think about visibility, I feel like more and more people are realizing just how constructed gender is when you can see trans people, non-binary people living their lives, living in this neutrality, questioning the existence of binary, just that sort of existence, that sort of expression. It does start to make you wonder, does any of this matter at all? Gender is so constructed, it makes you ask, does it have to be like this? On a broader level, of course, that has to do with all the injustice of a society based on gender, such as segregated women's sports. It makes you wonder, do we have to have gendered sports at all? Is that the way that things need to be? But then on a more personal level, it can also, it starts, with one individual expressing themselves and inspiring others. It makes you wonder, do I have to be the way that I have been? I've had several people just lately, like in the past few months, coming up to me and saying how my gender expression, which has changed lately, has inspired them and made them think about the way that they've been expressing themselves, and also the way that other people have been expressing themselves. So, to give you my share of the story, I was born female. I was assigned female at birth. And I transitioned to male. I came out at, I want to say 16 years old. 16 years old, started hormones a year later. And I was quite comfortable living this masculine life for a long time. And then more recently, I've been kind of exploring femininity again. And for a while, I felt like, oh goodness, am I going to have to detransition? I'm enjoying kind of being a woman. I'm enjoying the idea of womanhood. Is this allowed? And for a moment, that gave me some turmoil in case, what if I want to go back and be a man again? And then I kind of I had a moment where I stepped back and realized, wait, I can be non-binary. This binary thing is so silly. I can just be non-binary. I can be a man and a woman at the same time. And that's where I'm at this point. Not being two separate people, but being one entity that is both, that is everything. And just a few days ago, I was reconnecting with a friend who I hadn't seen in a little bit, just because we were busy. And they were telling me, we started sharing this experience. I told them that I had changed my pronouns to be both he and she now. And they were telling me how they went through kind of a very similar trajectory, being assigned female at birth and then transitioning at a young age. And in particular, we identified that we both fell into this tough punk style that had a way of dressing, a style. It was like a uniform, like here's how you can be. And it's like, it gives you a vision of the world that goes along with it. And you think, when you're young, you're so comforted by that idea that oh, I know exactly what I want to be. I'm a part of this community. And it gives you an all-new gender to go with it. One that's not even like a traditionally masculine one. It's like a brand new way of being masculine. But then we both, around the same time, just over this past year, kind of came out of that and found ourselves interested in other sort of ideas. And now it's a matter of blending all of those wonderful things that we've seen and putting them together in ourselves. And I've had other people sort of be inspired by me, you can be both genders, or you can be everything at the same time. It's fine. Gender doesn't have to be real. And so I think that you can make waves just by expressing yourself, just by wearing that article of clothing that you felt you were never allowed to wear. Lisa mentioned in her video that there was these set of rules that boys had to be. So the more that you break those rules just in yourselves and stop thinking about those rules and stop living and confiding to those rules, the more you inspire others. And then that's how change works. It's just by individuals. I'm often reminded of my favorite singer, Florence and the Machine. Her song, Girls Against God, she says, and when I decided to wage holy war, it looked a lot like staring at my bedroom floor. but by God, you're gonna get it. You'll be sorry that you messed with us. That's how it starts, is just that individual moment. I attended a meeting with the Greater Edmonton Alliance for the Common Good, and I kept my thoughts to myself on it, but at that moment, but they asked us, what's been bothering you? What sort of thing in our society that you want to change? And then they asked us, okay, how do we get that started? What is the easiest thing that you can do right now to get that ball rolling? And it kind of starts with the individual, and then who's immediately to your left, or whoever else. And so I thought about that with the question of trans rights, and it does start with that individual, that change that's so quiet, that's just little bouts of inspiration hopping along. That's about all I have to say. Just, I challenge you to dream of a world without binaries, and is there something within yourself maybe that you've been confiding to those rules just because you felt you had to, and not because you really wanted to? And I want you to know that it's okay to not want to. You don't have to at all. And people are gonna fight you on it. It's really sad, but true. But you can wage holy war to your bedroom floor. I would also like to introduce Ashton, who is also a member of our church, and it's glad to see you again.
All right, can you guys hear me okay? Okay, so Declan, it's kind of remarkable how almost identical my journey has been to yours. Like, in the past 12 years, I've also been on quite an incredible gender journey. Like, I've gone from female to non-binary to male to non-binary again. Who knows where I'll go in the future? The world is my oyster. And honestly, that was just so elegantly put, and I kind of wanted to just echo what Declan said. It's been a really scary year for us. Just in the past year alone, there's been 747 bills introduced in the United States that are anti-trans. In this year alone, 23 of them have already been passed. That's a lot, and that's really scary. I've been toiling over what I was going to say, because it's tough to think about right now. It's been easy to just kind of try to ignore it, just kind of be in my own bubble and just try to pretend it's not happening, but that's not how we're going to make any changes either. So we're going to have to talk about it. On social media, I'm sure if you've read any comments, it could be a post about anything. It could be a post about someone's dog or something. There's always someone in the comments just going off about trans people for no reason. It's annoying. It's really annoying. But I have seen a lot of positivity. You're going to find a million replies saying, "What are you talking about? This it's kind of..." Sorry, my brain has just been so muddy recently. This past month alone, just a lot of fear, a lot of worry. But there's so much strength in this community. We're all super resilient. And every trans person you've met has had struggles, has had things that they've had to overcome, things to figure out with themselves. And it's such a strong community filled with so many kind people who get it. So, I don't know. I'm just completely off script, sorry. Thanks, Rosemary. When I came out initially, 12 years ago, holy moly, I was just 14. So with the bill that Declan mentioned in Alberta here, I wouldn't have been able to do what I did, which is I came out at school first. I wanted to make sure I was right with what I wanted to be. I wanted to try out my identity before I told my parents, because I live with them. So it's kind of scary just being like, hey, people I live with, here's this big change. So while I could adjust within myself, I came out at school first. Kids today don't have that privilege. even if they're talking about it with their friends, if a teacher overhears, they're legally obligated to inform the parents. And this is extremely dangerous. There are so many parents who don't get it. Kids get kicked out, kids get abused. Kids just don't really have much say in anything anyways. So it's just been really sad and scary things that have been going on. And I really feel for trans kids out there who have to face this. There's just, we can't lose hope. As terrifying as it is, I'm more scared thinking about it than I even just talking in front of you guys. You can't lose hope. It's the last thing a lot of us have, and so there's just, it's really important to hold on to that, and also to recognize that we have a lot of allies. There's been a lot of people speaking up about it recently. Andrew Garfield the other day spoke up about trans rights. That was pretty cool. We're not alone. And like I also, with a lot of you guys are actually, hopefully all of you are allies, and I honestly really thank you for that. It's, even if you don't know much about it, just if someone tells you their name and pronouns and you respect that, that's great. And just being a safe place here to come and talk about this kind of stuff, it means a lot to me. I'm sure it means a lot to the other trans people here. Just for our allies, just know we're scared, and we could absolutely use all the support that you guys can have. Just speak up if you hear someone saying something, accompany someone to the bathroom if they're scared, just stuff like that. There's strength in community, and we're all scared, but we can be scared together, and that's more powerful than being alone. That's all I really have to say. Declan kind of stole the rest of what I wanted to say, so you know. So thank you guys.
So don't forget, after the service, we'll take a picture in support, and we'll make sure that that gets around. Thank you, Karen, for all of the signs. I just want us to stop for a second and think about all we've heard, and how lucky we are to have trans folk in our midst, that we get to learn and experience and have relationships with people of all genders. It makes our community rich. And Ashton, I'm going to out you a little bit. For those of you that may not know who Ashton is Dorothy and Bernie Keeler's grandchild. And so we're honored to have you with us, and it's so lovely to see you again. And Declan is our Minister Emeritus is Brian Kiley's child as well. So we've got some deep roots here of supporting trans folk. We should be proud of ourselves for being such good allies and for supporting our trans people in this community. So give yourselves a round of applause, please. And I would like to invite you to think about your life, your friends' lives, and the things that are going on in your life at this time. And the tables are open for you to light candles of joy or concern. And I invite you to do that now. Candles are being lit. I want to thank you for being here, for being who you are, for showing up in your authenticity and your vulnerability. It's a pleasure to be here with all of these open and loving hearts. And Gordon will light one last candle for all our joys and sorrows, for all the things that are going in our lives and the things that are keeping us awake at night. Yes, there's a lot that keeps us awake at night, isn't there? So thank you, Gordon, for lighting that candle. Let's take a big breath. And we will end this service with everyone's favorite hymn, Blue Boat Home. Please rise in body or in spirit as you are able to sing Blue Boat Home, and shade your eyes. If only we had dimmer switches up there.
Before we extinguish our chalice this morning, I would just personally like to thank Reverend Rosemary for inviting me to be the service leader for this service. I am so grateful that my husband and I have a place to be, a place like this extraordinary community. Karen, we come forward, please, to extinguish our chalice. These words are by Karishma Gottfield. Each of us was created in the image of love. Wherever we come from, wherever we're going, whoever we are, whomever we love, we proclaim with love on our side, our bodies are sacred, our minds are blessed, our spirits are beloved. May we be open to receive more love, always more love. Thank you, Karen.
I thought we'd end early. My apologies. But I don't think I'd want to have taken away one word or one note. I feel blessed to be here this morning with you and to hear the wonderful stories. And thank you for everyone. Just a reminder to stay right after Carry the Flame. Don't go anywhere. Sing Carry the Flame. Come right back here. Come see me. And then we will take our picture, and then we'll have some coffee. And I think there's some wonderful goodies out there that Deborah, again, has created and made for us. Thank you. Safeway did it, okay? Safeway is our friend. I want to thank everyone that participated in this service, especially our speakers, Declan and Ashton. Thank you so much. And I offer you these words of benediction to hold and sustain you as you go through your week until we can be together again and be once again nourished by each other's presence and each other's love. So do not be dismayed by the brokenness of the world. Things break all the time, don't they? And some things we can mend. But not with time, as they say, with intention. So go and love intentionally. And love extravagantly. Hear, hear, love extravagantly, and above all, love unconditionally. For the broken world waits in darkness for you, for the light that is within you. So go in peace, go in justice, go in love, and go with a little bit of anger. Go with a little bit of anger so that we can make this world a better place, the world of our imagining. Go in peace, gentle people. Go in peace. And let us now sing our linking song, Carry the Flame.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. You were wonderful, as always.
Thank you. As always.